Hey guys, this is CK at CK Education, and today I want to talk to you about your self-worth, your value, or what you perceive to be your value. Um, you know, Throughout life, I've looked at and I met so many people who, inside of them, felt like they were not very valuable, and but they try to hide it or they try to cover it with a lot of outside things, as if wearing better clothes or living in a bigger house or driving a better car or climbing the corporate ladder or trying to be influential or even trying to help other people would cover that deficiency that they feel. But when they go home in the privacy of their own hearts and their own minds, they still feel just as empty and just as um, as if they are not very worthy. They're not very valuable. And this is a lie. This is, you know, and so I wanted to talk to you about the truth of this today. And if you don't have the right idea, if you don't understand the truth about who you really are, you're going to struggle in every area of life. This will creep into your business, your finances, your career, your relationships, your family, your own self-esteem, your ability to be creative, your confidence level, your interactions with people. I mean, every part of life will be affected by how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself. This is so important. This is why sometimes you see people who grew up in the most terrible circumstances, in poverty and so forth, and yet somehow it was instilled in them that they were valuable, that they were worthy, that they were created with a purpose, and they become great people. At the same time, you see people who grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, and they grew up rich and wealthy and have lots of money, and yet they live their lives empty, and they live their lives chasing after fantasies, and ruining themselves and hurting themselves. It all has to do with the inside. Life is not so much about all the external things, and certainly external things happen for sure, but ultimately where we are in life and what we do and how we live as a person has more to do with what we think inside our heads and how we react to things, and the decisions that we make, and those kinds of things are all inside of us. When we're in the quietness of our own room or our own home, what are we thinking inside of our minds, and what are we thinking about ourselves? What do we really think about people? This is so important, and this affects everything else in your life. So let me give you an example. Let's say I have $200 bills, and in this hand I have a crumpled up $100 bill, and it's sort of worn, and maybe it's been stepped on, and maybe it's sort of torn a little bit in the corner. Okay, but it's a $100 bill and it's all scrunched up. It's a little dirty. In this hand, I have a crispy $100 bill that I just got from the bank. I mean, it's brand new. Okay, and so I go to the store. I go to the grocery store and I buy $20 worth of whatever items, and I give them this crumpled up $100 bill to the cashier. The cashier would give me back $80 in change. Because even though it's crumpled up, it's still worth $100. I go to another store or the same store and I give them this $100. Again, I buy $20 worth of goods and I give them this crispy, brand new $100 bill. I mean, they still give me $80 back in change. The worth of the dollar bill, the worth of the $100 bills didn't change because one of them was brand new and crispy and one of them was crumpled up and wrinkled and old and stained. It didn't matter. Once these $100 bills came off the printing press, in the Treasury Department, their value was determined. It's $100, as opposed to something that was printed and it was a $20 bill or a $1 bill or a $10 bill or $5 bill. The $100 bills were created as $100 bills, And so no matter what happens to them after they got printed, no matter what it went through, in the end, it's still worth $100. And people are like this as well. You're like this as well. I'm like this as well. You see, when we were born with our innate values. We are as valuable can get. There is no greater value than whatever the highest value is for a person. That is how much you are worth, and that is how much I am worth, and we are worth the same. There's no person that's worth more or worth less. We have these words, and in our society, we have these phrases like net worth. What is our net worth? What are you worth? We use phrases like this. Don't be confused. The measure of a person and the measure of you as a human being has nothing to do with how much money you make or what your net worth is or how much you are worth or how much revenue your business makes or what your title is at your job or what your experience is in your career or what people say of you or what people don't say of you. Whether they compliment you or criticize you, it doesn't change your worth. You can sit here and call this $100 bill dirty, and you can call it wrinkled, and you can call it, you call it whatever you want. The $100 bill is still a $100 bill. You can still take it to the grocery store and buy $20 worth of goods, and you will get back $80 in change, no questions asked, because the innate value of that money is not dependent upon what people say about it. You can step on it, and it's still $100. You can put it in the water. You can put it in the washing machine and take it out. It'll be cleaner. But it's still a $100 bill. It doesn't matter what happened to it. It doesn't matter what happened to you. It doesn't matter what people said. It doesn't even matter what your parents may have negatively said when you were younger. It doesn't matter what your childhood was like. All of those things have nothing to do with your worth. And so what you and I have to understand is we are worthy. We are valuable, not because of something that we've done, not in an arrogant way, because I accomplished all this, because I made a lot of money, or because I have great influence, or whatever the thing is. That's not why we're great. That's not why we're valuable. We are valuable because the day we were born, when we had nothing, when we did nothing, and we were completely dependent, in that moment, our value was determined. We were given our values by God, and so we are valuable from the moment we're born till the day we die. And it doesn't change what happens in between. Our value doesn't change. And so, why does that matter? It matters because you can now live in confidence. You can live in hope. You can say, look, I'm as good as any other person, and every other person is as good as I am in value. We don't have to look down on people, and certainly you don't have to look down on yourself as if you were less valuable than someone else. It doesn't matter, again, on the outside. Don't focus on, but my job, I only get paid $18 an hour. That person over there gets paid, $200 an hour. I'm only worth, I'm only making $40,000 a year. That person making $400,000 a year. Or I live in a little house that's 1,000 square feet. That person lives in a mansion that's 10,000 square feet. I drive a car that's a little tiny car, an old car. That person drives a Bentley. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Those outside things are just outside things. They come and go. And nobody takes them with them. Nobody will take any of those things with them when they leave this earth. And so those things don't determine your value. Again, always think of the $100 bill, the crumpled up, soiled, dirty, stepped on, it's marked, maybe it's torn. And then you got the crispy $100 bill from the bank. Doesn't matter. They're worth $100. They're worth the same. And so I want you to understand that. And I understand that. And I live by that. That's why I'm not easily intimidated. That's why I don't really care what people think or say or do, or whether they criticize or compliment. It just kind of rolls off my back. Because that doesn't determine my value. It's not determined by how many views I get on YouTube. And this YouTube channel I recently started, and it's really fun. But it has nothing to do with that. Okay? My success, my failure, my value is not determined by that. I know who I am. I know who loves me. I know whom I love. And, I know my value. And so I hope you do too, because that will just make you a better, more hopeful, more purpose-filled and person. and you will live your life with more meaning if you understand that and you live like that. So I hope you do. And I really appreciate you watching this video up to this point, and I hope it was helpful and encouraging. I hope it was. And as always, until my next video, please stay well.